I know you're gonna dig this.
Okay, before I get started, there are spoilers. Lots of spoilers. If you don't understand that, then that's your own lookout. Right, this usually starts at the beginning, but I'm going to start with the ending. That ending. Basically, Dexter isn't dead. He steered his boat towards the storm with the intention of dying. However, as we learn straight after, he didn't die. And while his boat was completely destroyed, if the show had ended there, then you would only have assumed he'd died. But in TV and movie land, a body is only dead if you see a dead body, and it doesn't wake up. Spooks, for example, tried to con us by making it look like Hermione Norris's character, Roz, was dead, when in fact she was just resting, as they'd just given us something to appear dead. Really, they should have made the last scene the one with Dexter heading into the storm after pushing Deb's body overboard, since the alternative would have been of Hannah and Harrison, allegedly in Argentina, with some piss-poor green screen and CGI going on. Now, the plus for Showtime, by not killing off Dexter or sending him to the electric chair, is that in a few years' time, when they've run out of ideas completely, they can bring the character back again. Basically like Fox did with resurrecting Jack Bauer for a new series of 24, which comes out next year. I mean, that I am looking forward to, but obviously the original series did run out of steam along the way quite a few times. In fact, Dexter's now working on some sort of construction company, after being presumed dead, exactly where Jack Bauer was up to at the start of Season 5. That said, will he need to return as the serial killer cop? Dexter, that is, not Jack Bauer. I mean, Michael C. Hall made a successful transition to Dexter after 5 years as David Fisher in 6 Feet Under, so I feel he can make a similar change to a new project without feeling typecast. I waited long enough for this ending because I just happened to be off on Monday last week, when you would have expected the finale to have been shown, but the 10th episode was put back a week thanks to Labor Day in America. I didn't foresee this because A, I don't know when US specific public holidays are, and B, because Dexter's never been on this early in the year before. Going back to discussing the episode and looking at the last time Dexter was in hospital and in Deborah's room, this was one of those moments where I was just watching the screen through my fingers. I was basically just shouting no, 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 as several times as Dexter was about to switch off her life support. Of course, you had to allow an awful lot of artistic license with the episode. No one saw Hannah stabbing Elway in the leg with a big dose of horse tranquilizer on the coach. I guess that relied on everyone on the coach being too absorbed in their own lives, as a lot of people tend to be. That said, earlier on, I thought Harrison would blurt out that Dexter was going to meet up with Hannah when they were confronted in the hospital by Elway. But he didn't. I mean, it was kind of a moot point by then anyway, as Elway had exactly figured out what was going on. Then there's also Saxon walking around while bleeding out, no one noticing the trail of blood dripping from his left arm. And then no one noticed Dexter wheeling out the body of his dead sister, out into the hospital reception, and then outside. I mean, that one relied upon the well-timed storm and the confusion that went with it, as well as the fact that trolleys with patients were being wheeled about all over the place, inside and outside the hospital. So you can kind of allow that one. However, someone must have seen Dexter lift Deborah from her body from the trolley and then onto his boat. Well, I enjoyed the final showdown between Dexter and Oliver Saxon. The post-mortem, if you'll forgive the pun, on the show that deals with death, which followed, felt a bit ridiculous. Dexter had just killed a man, on camera, and who by that point had almost finished off his only sibling. And yet, when questioned, the only two cops that happened to be available, Quinn and Batista, just agreed, oh yeah, it's self-defence, and then just wished him bon voyage, again, if you'll forgive the pun. Obviously because of the boat thing. I'm pretty sure that in my line of work, if I was interviewing a customer and something had led to me sticking a pen in their jugular, a thorough investigation would take place, and it wouldn't all just be dismissed in a 5-minute meeting. Things we'll never get to see. How is Hannah going to explain Dexter's death to Harrison? How will the whole of Miami Metro react when they find Deb's body? Since they'll see from the hospital CCTV that Dexter took the body out with him, as well as possibly showing external footage, so then they'll follow the trail of his boat to where that was destroyed and dive down to find a body, and possibly all the others he killed. Then again, he did intend after the end of Season 1 to go to a place where all the bits of the bodies that he cut up would tend to be carried off by the stream of the sea, so they could be distributed all over the place. Then again, Dexter himself did get very lazy, because after about the last 3 seasons or so, whereas originally he used to take his time dismembering his victims into several parts, the last 3 seasons have just seen him dump whole bodies into the water. An alternate ending has been revealed where Dexter would wake up on the execution table, about to be administered drugs to kill him off, and he would look up to the observation gallery to see past murders come back to haunt him, such as Trinity and Dokes. However, life never has a definitive ending, so I think the one we got is an interesting one and quite fitting in a way. Dexter is a man who loves loves control of his life and his destiny, and he's just not got that at all anymore. Overall, though, I think they went with the right ending. What do you reckon, Professor Yaffle?
No. It's a pile of shit.
Who do you agree with? Let me know in the comments below. Cue Genesis. Or maybe Daniel Licht.